Hi everyone, meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. A couple of advisories to tell you about as we head through the remainder of our Tuesday and into our Wednesday. The first one, a winter weather advisory that runs from midnight Tuesday night through 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. Again, this includes areas like Nebraska City, Falls City, Beatrice, Fairbury, Hebron, down into northern parts of Kansas. Again, we could be looking at some light icing in these areas, maybe a trace up to 5/100ths of an inch of icing, but again, that is enough to make untreated surfaces, elevated surfaces, pretty slick. So again, sidewalks, parking lots, again, if you haven't salted your driveway, again, we could see a light glaze of ice in these areas, and again, doesn't take much to make things pretty slippery, so that is something you'll want to watch out for tonight and into Wednesday morning. Also, want to watch out for more areas of dense fog. We have dense fog advisory that covers almost the entirety of the 1011 coverage area down into parts of Kansas, Colorado, far southwestern Iowa, into Missouri. And a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now. Some of that melting snow just kind of adds to that low-level moisture. So again, dense fog, visibility's down to a quarter mile or less possible at times tonight and into your Wednesday morning. So again, if you run into that fog, if you're out and about, make sure you got those low beams on. Again, give yourself some extra following distance and just take it slow. If you check out, again, future visibility, again, our in-house model, again, starting at 6 p.m., you can see a lot of areas reduced visibility, not horrible, but again, as we head towards 10 o'clock tonight, through the overnight hours, that fog will thicken up. So again, definitely looking at some areas seeing that visibility down to a quarter mile, maybe less at times as we head tonight into Wednesday morning. That fog will kind of persist for a few hours through the morning. I think into the afternoon, things will greatly improve. But again, we're going to be dealing with some low clouds, fog, areas of drizzle, again, over the next couple days. If you look at the 10-day forecast, and this actually covers the daytime cloud cover percentage, and you can see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, much of the state dealing with generally overcast conditions with some of those areas, again, a patchy fog and drizzle and things like that. And even for eastern sections of the state, you can see Lincoln, Falls City, Omaha, still dealing with some of those overcast conditions even as we start the weekend. But you will notice, again, the page kind of turns from gray to yellow as you go left to right, and that's going from overcast conditions to more sunshine heading our way as we head towards this upcoming weekend and through much of the work week next week. Things kind of get a little bit cloudier again as we head towards the end of the week next week. But again, still have a couple more days of dealing with some of these overcast and kind of gray conditions across the state. But there is good news. Again, this is the forecasted daytime cloud cover. If you look at the temperature forecast over the next 10 days, while it stays cloudy, temperatures will remain fairly seasonal, kind of stuck in the middle 30s for a lot of us. But you can see sort of on the tail end of this 10-day forecast, things start to warm it up a little bit. Into the weekend, it's a mix of 30s and 40s for a lot of us. But then as we head into the week next week, above average temperatures are forecast across the state. We're talking upper 30s to upper 40s and even 50s on the board as we head through the week next week. And it looks like that warming trend and the above average temperatures will hang out with us for at least a little while. The even longer range forecast, as you look at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, which takes us from the last day of January through the first almost week of February, has very good odds of continuing to see above average temperatures across much of the region. So again, winter not done just yet, but kind of being held at bay at least for a couple weeks here as we deal with some of these more mild conditions. The 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook also favors above average precipitation, which again, in this instance, means it may be coming in the form of rain. So again, snow looks like it could be melting, temperatures climbing, sun coming out. So again, there are all good things in the forecast after a lot of us have dealt with a pretty rough 3-week stretch to start January and start the new year. But again, it does look like some nicer conditions are going to be heading our way. Certainly, again, looks like we'll continue to maybe see some wet conditions over the next week or two, again, according to those longer range models, which again, for me, just means we're likely going to see some muddy conditions as that snow melts and if we get any extra precipitation, and that likely means muddy paw prints in my house and probably in many folks' houses as well. But again, as always, keep it tuned to 1011 for continued updates on the forecast, and as always, keep it tuned to 1011 on air and online for all of your latest news, weather, and sports.